More pain. More pain tonight. Let's recap my lineup. Julius Randle. Team to himself. No Jalen Brunson. Best possible matchup. Just need an average game from Randle, and it's a pretty big night for me. Worst game of the season. 30 fantasy points. No Brunson. The best matchup in the National Basketball Association. Massive bust. Never seen a worse game from him. Buy back into Emmanuel quickly. Finally don't click quickly with Brunson out. The previous slate, 120 fantasy points. Buy back in. 0 for 7 start. You bet. RJ Barrett. Over half the field faded him. For some reason played 13 first half minutes. Someone explain that? Massive blowout of the random variety for Philadelphia, too, to punish the Sharks there. Mo Wagner breaking the slate. No way is he playing a fourth quarter minute. 3-square Tyus Jones. Faders somehow got away with it. Again, Melton, right? Massive blowout. And then Anthony Davis, you better believe he gets injured and loses like the whole second quarter. On pace for 80. He's in the locker room for majority of the first half. Just again, there's no doubt about it, right? It's not even a question. There's no one that runs worse. It's not possible. Not possible to run worse than me. It's like etched in, it's no debate. No one runs worse. No one. PrizePicks video, right? We take Draymond over assist, easily hits. We take Dinwiddie over PRA, needs one more PRA. Massive blowout. Doesn't touch the court in the fourth quarter. Come on. Can't do that. That can't happen. I don't. What have I done to deserve that punishment? What? Why am I served platter of punishment? Why? All right, before we talk about this 7-game slate, if you guys are looking for more in-depth content, you can check my Patreon. That is linked down below. The sponsor is PrizePicks. You can use the code DKDFS for 100% match up to $100. Again, I'll have free content up here every single day. And if you're a first-time user, take advantage of that code. Again, free $100 to play with. You build 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6 player props and win up to 25x your money. All right, so let's just jump into the video. Ready to move on from tonight's slate. So we'll start off with Atlanta and Washington. And for Atlanta, the price points have dropped on Trae Young and DeJounte Murray to a point where I like both. Usually they're in the range where Trae is almost 10K and DeJounte's in the mid 8K range. But 8.8K for Trae and 7.7 for DeJounte Murray in a good matchup. I think both feel a little bit too cheap. Now, would I play both together? Probably not, unless I'm just full stacking this game. But if this game stays competitive, which it should, one of these guards can have a really good game. The tough part for me would be picking between the two. So, I like Trae Young, I like DeJounte Murray. I think they're both underpriced, but I always struggle when I have to pick between the two. But like I said, I think that they're both too cheap. Capella, he should split the minutes with Okongwu. Did play 34 minutes last game. I think most of the time he's going to be, in the high 20s minute range, which always makes him a fine tournament play. If you do get the game where Capella pushes for 30 plus minutes, he could break the slate. 3.9K for Okongwu. Normally going to play around 20-ish minutes. So he's another playable tournament option. Saddiq Bey and DeAndre Hunter, I actually think are pretty safe plays here. You're just getting pretty consistent minutes. 35, 32 minutes last couple games for Saddiq Bey. DeAndre Hunter is playing 30 to 35 minutes on average. I don't see a massive ceiling with either, but I think both are pretty safe, assuming we're going to continue to get 30-plus minutes from both. Bogdanovich is always playable in tournaments. His minutes not as secure, and John Collins' minutes have definitely ticked down on him. All right, moving on to Washington. Washington, you did get Kuzma back. We have Porzingis, Beal, and Kuzma at the top. I think my favorite would be Porzingis at 8.9K, but I still have interest in Beal. I still have interest in Kuzma. I don't think any of these guys are must plays, but I do like the matchup for them. If Monte Morris continues to be out, you should get DeLon Wright starting and playing, I don't know, low 30s minutes. He'd be a pretty safe play there in the mid-range. Don't know if I get to anyone else, though, on Washington. Gafford feels a little pricey. Dani Alves had a nice game in 21 minutes, or 2 games ago, I should say. Last game only played 21 minutes with Beal back, or with a Kuzma back. Pittsburgh had a nice game, but I'm not going to chase that. So I'll say mainly it's just the top guys plus DeLon Wright. Portland and Boston, so there's blowout risk in this game. You also have my boy Yusuf Nurkic questionable. Even if Nurkic comes back, I don't think he's going to play full minutes, so it would just take Eubanks and Watford out of play for me. At the top, if you think Portland can keep the game competitive, then definitely fire up some Dame Lillard. The issue is there's a lot of blowout risk here. This Portland team is not great. They're going on the road against Boston, basically a fully healthy team, so Dame, I really like his upside, but there definitely is risk. Jeremy Grant should be the number 2. He's going to play big minutes. So I like the ceiling on Lillard and Grant if you think the game is competitive. But again, there is a lot of risk here. And Cam Reddish and Thibault are also playing a ton of minutes. So like Reddish is too cheap if he continues to play 35 plus minutes. Matisse Thibault, they're not great on the offensive end, but he's consistently playing 30 plus minutes and it's only $4,000. I don't know if I get to anyone else, though. I guess if Nurkic is out, you can consider Eubanks and Watford. If you think the game blows out, then maybe looking at a guy like Shaden Sharp at 3.3K, who will be in the rotation. And if the game blows out, he'll probably close in the blowout. Like, I think the closing lineup in the blowout would be Johnson, Knox, Walker, Sharp, Little or something. I don't know if John Butler is I think he's with the G League still, I want to say. So, yeah, if you think the game blows out, maybe look at a guy like Shaden Sharp. I don't think that's the worst idea in a large field tournament. On the Boston side, so I like the matchup for them. The issue is, again, do you think it stays competitive? If the answer is yes, you can definitely look to Tatum and Brown, who should play 35 to 40 minutes in competitive game. The guards are all secondary plays here, the Brogdon, Smart, and White. Al Horford, I think, is pretty safe, but not a priority. You'll get some minutes for Grant Williams. You'll probably get some minutes for Mike Muscala, but nothing that I love on the Boston side. Cleveland and Miami, nothing really standing out in Cleveland either. This is a really ugly game. 2 of the better defenses in the NBA going up against each other. Mitchell and Garland, I think, play a lot, but again, I just don't love the spot for them. Mobley has played well last couple games, but price is up, and now again, matchup against Miami. Jared Allen feels priced right. I mean, a 4K Karis LeVert might be my favorite play in Cleveland. There's games where he's only playing low 20s minutes. There's also games where he's pushing for 30 plus, so he would probably be my favorite option. You saw Chetty re-enter the rotation last game. Rubio barely played. I'm not going to mess with Isaac Okoro. I don't think I'm going to mess with Lamar Stevens. So that's it for Cleveland. On the Miami side, kind of the same thing. Nothing I love here. Jimmy at 8.7. The minutes are not great on him. He's playing like 30 to 33 minutes. Bam Adebayo is 8K. I expect mid-30s minutes from him. Hero had a really bad game last game, but he should play a ton. If Kevin Love's out, you should get more run from Martin and Oladipo and Max Strus, but I still probably wouldn't prioritize any of those guys. Gabe Vincent should continue to start. I guess he's fine in like 25 to 30 minutes. And this game in general is pretty unappealing, which means it'll probably go to like triple overtime, knowing my luck. All right, Dallas and New Orleans. So Dallas, you got Luka and Kyrie at the top. Both have a ceiling. I think I still give the edge to Luka over Kyrie, but you did see the big game from Kyrie tonight. So ceiling's high in both. I don't think I can get to Christian Wood. He's just not playing enough minutes right now. But Reggie Bullock got injured. If he can't play tomorrow, you know, this combination of Hardaway and Green and probably Justin Holiday would benefit. So it's really gross, but if Bullock's out, yes, you can consider these guys. Holiday 3.2, Green 3.7, Hardaway Jr. at 4.6. Kleber will see some rotation minutes as well, 3.3K. I would assume probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like low to mid 20s. So at almost mid-price, yeah, I guess he's also viable. On the New Orleans side, you have a couple guys coming back, but still no Zion, still no Nance, still no Alvarado. Again, JV was back last game. Now you got Josh Richardson back too. Ingram and CJ, they're going to play big minutes. I think both are reasonable options. I don't know if I'm going to prioritize either, but this game should stay competitive. JV, 6.9K. So, like, it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. Like, I just... all over JV. I think it was, this game against Orlando. I want to say, it was this game. They had like no other centers. He only plays 23 minutes. Comes back, 32 minutes. Smash when I finally fade. Like, just such a tilting game. It's just so frustrating. But if he plays 30 plus minutes, we know the ceiling is high on him. I don't think I get to trade Murphy because I assume he's going to move back to the bench with Josh Richardson back. Richardson himself feels priced about right. Herb Jones price is up too. So there's nothing else I think I would get to for New Orleans. Chicago and Denver, fully healthy Chicago team. Levine, DeRozan, Vooch, all these guys have a ceiling, but I don't think I can say that one stands out more than the other. Levine's been playing the best of late, but yeah, like if you land on one of these guys in tournaments, sure, but I don't think they any of them stand out. Pat Beverly's 4.1K. In a competitive game, I'm expecting around 30 minutes from him. He's a decent defender, so I think he's a reasonable value. Caruso, Pat Williams will see rotation minutes. I would probably prefer whoever starts. If start Caruso, prefer him. If they start Pat Williams, probably prefer him. But don't think you get to Kobe White or Io. Drummond barely played last game. I guess if like Vucevic gets in foul trouble defending Jokic, that Drummond could get extended. So if you want to play that narrative in tournaments, I guess. Moving on to Denver. So Nikola Jokic had a really bad game last game, but this is a nice bounce back spot here against Chicago. I think he looks really good at the top. Jamal Murray, 7.8K. Could play mid-30s minutes. I like his ceiling. Gordon, MPJ are both secondary options. KCP is now sub 4K. He continues to play 30 to 35 minutes. I like him for value just because his role is pretty secure. And if you get a game where he gets hot behind the three-point line, like he can smash this price point. So I normally like don't love playing KCP, but this is just really a price thing. 3.9 feels too cheap for his role right now. Bruce Brown will see rotation minutes on the bench. Reggie Jackson should play the backup point. Reasonable. Jeff Green. Like I think I would just, if I'm going to play a value here, it's going to be KCP. Oklahoma City and Phoenix. So let's just talk about this, right? Well, we have to talk about this. We have to. This is when SGA was out, right? This game against Phoenix. I play Giddey here. 24 minutes. Benched. Play Giddey here against Sacramento. Phenomenal spot. No SGA. Bad game. 34 fantasy points. Play him here against Sacramento, right? 19 minutes. How about this game against the Lakers? Finally fade. 50 bomb. Triple double. Finally don't play here. 50 bomb. Shea comes back. 53. 59. The NBA record for assist was Shea back. You betcha. But when I play at relatively low ownership with no Shea, hey, he's getting benched and playing 20 minutes. With Shea there, triple-double after triple-double. Someone make that make sense. So what's going to happen here? I'm going to play Giddey tomorrow. He's going to shoot 3 of 15 and play 20 minutes. It's just, right? Is that not proof that no one runs worse than me? Like, that there's run of Giddey? Like, how? So Shea already confirmed out. The guard Jalen Williams out. My assumption for the starting lineup is Josh Giddey, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Aaron Wiggins, and the big Jalen Williams. So the Thunder ran a relatively tight rotation tonight. That doesn't mean they're going to run a tight rotation tomorrow. They still have a decent amount of guys they can play. Yeah, if Giddey plays like mid-30s minutes, the ceiling is clearly there for him. There is a little bit of blowout risk here, though, going up against Phoenix. Lou Dort should be the number 2 offensively. I'm fine with that. Isaiah Joe, I expect him to start. I expect him to get a lot of shots up. If he makes his shots, he can blow the salary out of the water. Aaron Wiggins started tonight, played 33 minutes. If he starts again, he's a solid value. I'm just going to warn you, though, almost anyone in the Thunder, if they struggle, they will get benched. We have seen that so many times. The big Jalen Williams had a nice game in 27 minutes. He's a fair value play. Dario Saric probably gets the backup run. He's a good point per minute guy, but never feel great about the minutes. Ousmane Dieng saw rotation minutes tonight. He's 3.2. I would assume you see some Lindy Waters, probably some JRE as well. It's never a good feeling targeting Thunder guys, but they're pretty short-handed here. Again, the worry is, number 1, you can get trolled just because it's the Thunder. Number 2, you do have the blowout risk. On the Phoenix side, this team's really good. I don't know if I can get to anyone. Kevin Durant, 9.8K. He's back to playing normal minutes. Devin Booker has been smashing, but I don't know if I can pay 9.5K for him. Ayton and Paul feel priced right. Okogie feels a little overpriced. You'll see some Torrey Craig rotation minutes. You'll see some campaign off the bench, but I have a hard time getting to anyone on Phoenix. If you want to take a shot in Booker or Durant and just hope they get hot, sure, but there is risk here. Finally, Toronto and the Clippers. So Toronto, another team that when they're fully healthy, it's always hard for me to pick one player out. Siakam kind of been quiet of late. The minutes are still there for him, though, and he's down to 8.5K. Fred VanVleet at 8.4 has still had some good games here, 56, 47 fancy points, but still has shown that floor, too. I think he'll be a bit more popular than Siakam, but I think they're both pretty similar plays. Scotty Barnes been quiet. Again, though, he's playing big minutes. I think Jakob Poeltl, if he can stay out of foul trouble and play around 30 minutes, looks like a pretty decent play in the mid-range. OG Anunoby's 5'9". Going to play a lot. Will he do anything with those minutes? I don't know. Gary Trent Jr., if he knocks down his shots, yes, he has a ceiling. Boucher, Achua, not really seeing enough run for me to get to them. So that's Toronto for you. And finally, the Clippers. Kawhi, Paul George, Russ Westbrook, all playable. I think if I had to pick between this group, it probably would be Kawhi at 9K. Like when Kawhi and Paul George are almost the same price, I think I'm going to give the edge to Kawhi. Westbrook, I mean, he did play a lot last game with those two backs, still played 34 minutes. So still a guy you can look to in tournaments. Zubac and Plumlee going to split the center position. Eric Gordon, Marcus Morris, Terrence Mann, Nick Batum will see rotation minutes. I think factoring in price and position, just the minutes recently, Eric Gordon will probably be my favorite. I mean, he played 33 minutes last game. Marcus Morris has been absolutely awful. Terrence Mann minutes have not been great when they're fully healthy. And then Nick Batum minutes kind of all over the place too. So I guess if I'm going to target like a value play, it probably would be Eric Gordon. All right, so that's going to wrap up the video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, again, just make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I really appreciate all you guys watching. Make sure to check out the PrizePicks video. I'll up after this, and we'll see you all in the next one.